Raymond K. Hessel. The question, Raymond, was what did you want to be?
Answering, Raymond. Jesus.
Get up, get up, get up, son, get up, get up. You know, get up, get up. Come on, son, get up, get up, get up. Get up, get up. Come on, son, get up.
Hey, what's going on? Trail 7 Reactions, guys. This is a short intro. I usually do short intros on like just videos that I'm trying to check out real quick, and I'm not really doing a full reaction on a video. This is a 7-minute long video, but I kind of wanted to do, I'm going to listen and then maybe like do a little commentary on this, but it was just, I was clicking through some videos and I like watching Tupac interviews. I like watching interviews, period, but Tupac is a big influence of mine. I really liked his music, his passion, his drive. I didn't necessarily live the life he lived, but I feel like a revolutionary spirit. You know what I mean? I've always kind of felt that since I was introduced to Tupac way back in the day on a mixtape, like a literal mixtape. I had Holler If You Hear Me, some Gravediggers, some Wu-Tang, some Tupac. What else? That was pretty much it. That was my first actual mixtape, and I just fell in love with the music that Tupac was making at the time, and then I continued. But I want to react to this interview. I was watching it for a second. I was like, "Ooh, this would be something I think I can really get into." So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Leave some comments below. Let me know what other interviews you think I might want to watch or that I might be into, and I'll comment on that too.
A lot of people told me Tupac is, for the most part, a nice guy. This old thug thing, hype. Good for record sales. Helps him identify with the young people who are out there and angry, who would maybe label him a sellout like they did Hammer if he didn't have that hard side. What about that?
First of all, nobody could call me a sellout. I'm not going for that. I'm not even in that. I'm not looking for approval from the black community, because
the first thing I'll mention is in the beginning when he was talking about a lot of people say Tupac's a nice guy, and
we don't give approval.
Tupac's a nice guy, and there's this whole thug mentality or whatever. I would say that like even some of your hardest dudes or guys or people maybe that you're like, whoa, they got some of the deepest love and passion. So you can recognize that. So saying that he's maybe this not a thug or not some kind of like, his definition of thug is different too. Like the hate you give little infants, right? Thug life is not based on being a thug, like a gangster in the streets and doing thug type stuff like that, but like literally like what the hate you give, right? Basically he's saying it's a creation. I am a product of my surroundings. Right now, some people say I want to be a surrounding. I want my surroundings to be a product of me, like for sure. What he's saying is like the hate you give, it comes right back. You know what I mean? So that's his definition of a thug, and that's what he's acting like or being or what he's been created to be. Anyway, that's just my little insight on that first kind of question. And then he actually brings it into like the black community, and I don't know if this was an interview specifically for the black community, or he was doing an interview based on what the context of it is, but he went straight to being accepted by the black community versus just his a total critique of his character or what he portrays in his artistry. And I'm not really sure where that's coming from, but maybe that's something he struggles with.
We don't really do nothing but exist. So it's not like black people could tell me you a sellout or you true blue. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. I'm not even caught up in that. But I can see that, you know what I'm saying, the one thing we do have in common as black people is we share that poverty. So the thug side is more closer to the poverty than me being rich. How can I come to any community center, you know what I'm saying, sporting a Rolex Presidential, all these diamonds, and be like, look, we, you know what I'm saying, gotta. But now when I say we, they know what I mean. I'm not saying like...
And that's anybody, any advice or... people coming in trying to tell you how to live your life when they're doing this and this, or like I'm trying to help people out of poverty, like Tupac saying, and I'm coming in driving a Ferrari with a Rolex on my wrist. Like, of course, yeah.
I live in this neighborhood and nothing, but I'm a thug, and they thugs. They can relate to it. I don't even have to say that, you know what I'm saying? When I come, I don't have to say I'm real. They already know that, you know what I'm saying? From me being me, from not pushing the thugness, but I know from the business that everybody in this business is always whispering in your ear about what you can't say, what you can't do, what you can't wear in this world and in this world. It's two worlds, a white world and a black world. All I did was stand in the middle, you know what I'm saying, and say I'm living in both worlds. I can go to the streets and survive, and I can go out here and do my business out here.
I'm play devil's advocate.
He's clearly responding to the black community not accepting him or saying something about how you sold out on I'm not, I'm not commenting on the decor or nothing, but it does look like something like they're really just talking about specifics, like you sold out on the black community, and it might have been where the previous interview or the minutes prior had led to, and that's where this question came up, but I'm not sure. But
Advocate again. Critics say, yeah, but you're being pimped. You're being pimped by the record.
I want to know what critics, because Tupac is answering as if like he's being reprimanded or as being critiqued by the black community, when this guy hasn't necessarily said that, but I imagine that's something Pac might struggle with or has struggled with, and this is like '94, so this is after. It's about. I mean, All Eyes on Me is about to drop, I think, right before Machiavelli. '94, yeah, All Eyes on Me.
Executives who will allow you to do your thug life because it portrays a certain black. I mean, you've heard it, that if you were just a singer, you wouldn't have the same record contracts you have.
Right.
No, that's still a thing now. They're still talking about that in rap music, where they're like, yo, they're just letting these rappers talk about whatever because they know it sells records and they know it's gonna be either controversial or it's gonna. And some people go as deep as like the music is put out by the record companies to deteriorate society and get in the minds of the kids to do drugs and drink and fornicate and all that stuff, so it's still a thing today. And this is coming in '94 when Pac was on the verge. He just got bailed out. He was making that All Eyes on Me. He had come off Me Against the World, which is Me Against the World was like uplifting in my opinion. Like he wrote from his experiences, but it was like it was coming up, whereas All Eyes on Me was commercial. He just got out of jail. He had a lot of money. He was with Dre. It's possible, he did sell out. And even my favorite artists, I'm still like, yeah, I think there's a little bit of that.
But because you portray the thug life, the gangster rap, they've allowed you to make that money. They've allowed you to push and make you platinum.
I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting pimped. That's true. But just like how a woman would be, you know what I'm saying? Anybody to be pimped. It's like, it's not that you get pimped, it's how long you get pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really look at this situation, it is not I who's being pimped. When you look at them white kids with Raiders hats on, it's the white folks getting pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making their future. I'm writing down their curriculum. Right now, what I write in my album today, when it comes out in 2 months, that's what white kids is doing. So who really is getting pimped? What I'm writing in my raps is what them white kids is gonna be saying to their mamas and daddies when they come home. Who is getting pimped? You know what I'm saying?
See, I kind of have a little bit of, yeah, that's something. I've heard people say that. I've heard people say, like,
I'm a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? As far as my teacher told me when I was in high school, I ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I just gotta, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? It's going down.
I heard some kind of like commentary at one point. Tupac was doing an interview in a library or somewhere, and there was, I think there was a lot of women that were interviewing him. I think it was like some kind of, I'm not really sure about, I'll pull up the interview before, but he had said that like the pants sagging was not necessarily like a thing for him as much as it is like to the, he'll say the white folks like I don't care what you think, kiss my ass. You know what I mean? That's just the thing, because what he said was white folks will look at me and tell me to pull my pants up, or why are you gonna act like that? And he's just like, well, because you don't like it. Like, and so like I sense a little bit of that here. Like my lyrics are gonna hit those white kids, and we almost a little bit of revenge. like those white kids go home and rap the lyrics to their parents who might be racist or who might not like rap music. And you know, I was into Tupac a lot, and I I recited some lyrics, and I wasn't out doing like, you know, thug shit. Like I wasn't, I don't think Tupac necessarily promoted that either. It's just he had it portrayed coming from a particular area or type of situation. But that's very interesting, his commentary on that.
You know, everybody's getting pimped. Whether you work a 9 to 5 or whether you work for yourself, you're getting pimped by somebody. That's not the crime. The crime is how long you allow yourself to get pimped. You have to come up. Everything is a come up. Everything is a struggle. You start from the bottom, working to the top.
I don't think everything is a pimp thing. Like how long you allow yourself to get pimped. Like how long do I allow myself to work for a job that I'm unhappy with, and the boss is mistreating me? Like, cause that's what people will say. Like in a pimp world, like it's it's not glamour. It's not like the women are being treated fairly. You know, they give all their money to one person, and then they divvy it out, and they take care of them as much as they need to. So like in the sense of Tupac getting pimped on his album or record label, like he came up into a lot of money at the time, and he was, look, man, he's my favorite artist, but I think he made a couple wrong decisions as far as like going forward from All Eyes on Me, and I think he could have done a lot more. And you know, so I don't have any always positive things to say about, you know, his perspective or point of view, but you know.
The press and the media make you think that a black man arming himself is illegal or criminal,
Yeah,
or that he
yeah.
wants to arm himself to rob a liquor store or something.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
That is for me to defend myself, and it should always be. It's just about surviving, you know.
Hold on, I missed something.
Arming himself, the
Wait.
crime. The crime 9 to 5, or whether you work for yourself, you're getting pimped by somebody. That's not the crime. The crime is how long you allow yourself to get pimped. You have to come up. Everything is a come up. Everything is a struggle. You start from the bottom, working to the top. The press and the media make you think that a black man arming himself is illegal or criminal, or that he wants to arm himself to rob a liquor store or something.
Yeah, there is a misconception. Well, there's definitely a perception of like when some group of people talking about the Second Amendment and this and that, and getting, you know, making their kids aware of how to use guns and this and that, but then another group of people decides that they're gonna, you know, arm themselves as well. Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what do you want that for? You know, like, and it goes right along with this, you know, conversation about being called a thug, a fake thug, or portraying the gangster life, you know. Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
You know what I'm saying? That is for me to defend myself, and it should always be. It's just about surviving, you know?
I think he would have made different music and gone in a different direction had he not, what this guy's saying, been pimp. You know what I mean?
And we have to be honest about the tools that we use to survive. And why is a black life any more recoupable than a white life? You know what I'm saying? We know that they don't put the same security in the ghetto that they do in the whites in the white neighborhoods. So therefore, for me to be out here saying don't, you know, put your guns down and no violence, that's hypocritical.
Okay, I see what he's saying. Yeah. Okay, so the critique is that people seeing you act like this are you're gonna see, this guy's thinking, look, he put his eyes to the right. He's like, oh, I get where you're coming from. What he's saying is that like portraying this gangster lifestyle to the kids, and the kids coming up, but then Pac saying like, I know who's reciting my lyrics. I know who knows I'm real and who's not. I don't know. That's that line right there. Like, was Tupac portraying a lifestyle or promoting a lifestyle, or was he giving commentary on something he had come from and seen? And I, you got to listen to his lyrics and really pick it apart and see if he was really like just saying what he had answered to this before. He's like, I'm not out there telling kids to do this and this. I'm just giving you the news and what's going on in our community.
And if I didn't talk about the violence, everybody would act like the violence wasn't there. We, as rappers, bought that violence. We bought the violence that we seen on the street. We put in our records for years. And after 3-4 years, people finally starting to see it because of all the statistics that's going on in the streets. If we stop talking about it, then they wouldn't take statistics. And when they stop taking statistics, then we'd be killing each other in the street, and these white people wouldn't care no more.
Wouldn't even know.
Only reason they care is because, you know, there's been some strays, and we done slipped over in the white neighborhoods, and there's kids in Iowa that want to be like us.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? There's kids in Indiana that's trying to be like us, because they can relate too. You know what I'm saying?
You even admitted, I don't live in that neighborhood anymore.
Ooh, man, I want to speak on this again. Let me hear what he's saying.
3-4 years, people forced me to be out here saying, don't, you know, put your guns down and no violence. That's hypocritical.
I mean, he spoke about one of those things. He said, I seen my buddy, like I held my friend, he got shot. Like it is commentary. He's telling you what's going on. I don't recall hearing, and if you have, leave a comment. Tell me, show me a track where Tupac's saying like, I live this life and it's a great life and I'm trying to promote it to you kids. Like, I'm not sure he's not saying it that way, but whether the difference between whether it's commentary and reporting of what's going on versus this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm promoting, right? There's that distinction. Commentary, reporting, promoting, this is what I'm doing, right? The Jay-Z said the same thing. I'm riding on Renegade when he said, I'm riding around like talking about the things that are going on, you know? I don't know. That's a heavy critique on hip hop and rap music. And I think a lot of the people that use black on black crime against the black community are just looking for an excuse to make the black community more like that so they can say, see what they do. And I don't think a lot of people really recognize how it became that way in order for something of that statistic, that statistic isn't necessarily real, because statistics will show that you'll probably be, and I hate to say it, like, you know, any danger or anything comes in within your own community. Like, it's very rare that it's outside. But so that statistic is not a good thing to use, but they will use it, and they'll also say that a small percentage of the population commits over half the crime, when they fail to realize that population was targeted to commit crimes so they could, again, 13th Amendment, jail, prison, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And if I didn't talk about the violence, everybody would act like the violence wasn't there. We, as rappers, bought that violence. We bought the violence that we seen on the street. We put in our records for years. And after 3-4 years, people finally starting to see it because of all the statistics that's going on in the streets.
Now, could that be because of you? It's always been there. It doesn't take 3 or 4 years. You know, you're not influencing kids and then all of a sudden 3 or 4 years, it's your fault, right? It's been there. And they're just talking about it. Like when NWA came out and F the police, right? They were, again, providing commentary. Like, this is how people think and why. Like, not just, oh, you're wrong for thinking that, but, oh, you don't like us? Why don't you like us? And then we'll, like, but that's not what happened. Oh, you don't like us? We're going to silence you and shut you up. And then we're not going to know that people think this way. And it's just going to be a constant battle.
If we stop talking about it, then they wouldn't take statistics. And when they stop taking statistics, then we'd be killing each other in the street, and these white people wouldn't care no more. Only reason they care is because, you know, there's been some strays, and we done slipped over in the white neighborhoods, and there's kids in Iowa that want to be like us. You know what I'm saying? There's kids in Indiana that's trying to be like us, because they can relate too. You know what I'm saying?
You even admitted, I don't live in that neighborhood anymore. There's no real reason for you to carry a 9mm.
Don't believe that. Why? In 2 years, I've had a gun pulled on me by my limo driver, by police, by everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I better be. You know what I'm saying? I've been attacked. You ain't read the papers about these skinheads trying to blow up black churches. Why? They see me as the enemy just like y'all do.
94. And people still, you're hearing Tupac talk about an incident of these guys trying to blow up black churches, right?
I'm saying they can come to my house and sit out.
It's not, and what's the media in that? Like, has there always been this type of media? No, the shit's always been happening, and people just keep ignoring it. So it keeps getting worse, if you want to call it, you know, and then it gets blown out of proportion. But you need something to blow up. It's not like nothing's happening, and that's what he's saying. Like, the shit's happening, and if we don't talk about it, people gonna act like it's not there. So like, you stop talking about it, and people are like, oh, stop talking about it, it'll just go away. Now you just won't be exposed to it. You won't see it.
Outside my house just like anybody else can. A skinhead. And once my life is gone, it's gone. Can't nobody give it back to me. Not the judge, not the president, not the governor, not Calvin Butts, not Jesse Jackson. They can't do nothing but come to my funeral and talk pretty about how black people suffer. You understand? Yeah. I swear to God, nothing I ever say.
This is why I wish he would have went a different direction. He would have been a phenomenal speaker, motivator, like in a different direction. Like, I don't think he should have went and made more rap music, even though we got so many classic hits off the All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. I don't think that direction is where he was, his full purpose and potential were meant to be. I mean, but it is what it is, and that's what it is. So like, that's obviously what God wanted, but it just makes me feel like when he speaks in interviews, when he said in an interview, he said, when I speak, I want people to shiver. That is exactly what happens when I hear him, and I shiver, and I don't know a lot of what he's talking about personally. I just really connect and feel his passion, and I know his history, I know his background. So I think he would have been just a phenomenal leader, man. Like, honestly.
It's meant to be something where innocent people get hurt. Nothing I ever say is meant to be like a end all, let's go do it right now. Nothing. Everything I ever say, and if any, this is so we can set it clear, anything I ever say as it pertains to my peers and being strapped is only in self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Because right now where I'm at, the world is harsh. And I just don't got no beautiful stories. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just be getting them ready. Because that's why I think I messed up. If somebody would have grabbed me, pulled me to the side and been like, look, Tupac, as soon as you step out here, they're gonna be at you. If somebody would have explained it to me, I wouldn't have took the same mistakes. But I made those mistakes. And that was my job to stop somebody else from making those same mistakes. To lay it out, to lay out the real map on the world and how it is. Everything I'm saying is a warning, is a plea for help. If everybody is so goddamn worried about me, why ain't nobody came to help me? You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to be no star. This ain't my job. I don't care if everybody don't cheer for me. You know what I'm saying? If you're not cheering for me for what I'm doing, don't cheer for me. Don't cheer because you think I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? Screw that. Cheer for me for what I'm doing, for what I stand for. And when I go to jail, you should cheer louder. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm standing up for what I do. I'm not robbing nobody, not stealing from nobody. I never took nothing. Everything I do to represent my people. I do because I think this is what they want me to do. This is all I want to say.
He just put it in there. I mean, that's exactly what, like, he answered me. I don't think I've seen this interview before, but he answered me. That's basically what I said. Like, you know, I think he would have done this and done that. And he said, look, I made those mistakes, I made those decisions, and that's where I'm at now. My job is to do this and do me and be who I am. And he just like answered me. Like, so he was like, this is it. Like, I was the interviewer.
For all the people that doubt me, I had no record all my life. Okay? No record, no police record, until I made a record. As my video was debuting on MTV, I was behind bars getting beat up by the police department. I got a $10 million lawsuit. They said they would settle with me and everything. You know what I'm saying? But nobody cared.
Tupacalypse Now, right? That was his first record.
About that. That one blew up all of them.
And that shit was heavy in what his family represented, like as far as revolutionary, as far as like, you know, they got me trapped in this prison of seclusion. Happiness living on the streets is a delusion. Even smooth criminal one day might get caught, right? Trapped.
News. They didn't see me. They did not see me on TV with my eye busted, my head busted. There's pictures of those.
In Oakland,
you don't. Yes, in Oakland. You don't see them pictures. You see pictures of Tupac coming out of jail in cuffs. You don't see pictures of the police standing over me beating my brains in. You don't see that. But I see that. That's what I see.
Yeah, they want to bring him out of jail, show the media of this guy getting arrested for doing whatever he did. Like, that was way back. That wasn't even in '94 when he went to jail for that other shit. But like, oh no, there's something to be said. Like, as soon as he started speaking and making noise, all of a sudden, you know, he's got this people on his back. And you know, and people will say, like, you know, you're making waves, you're making it difficult for people and things like that. So that was a good interview. That was pretty cool. I don't think I've seen this interview before, and I've seen lots of interviews with Pac. A lot of my favorite ones, when he said, one of my favorite ones before we get going is when he said, I don't think that I don't think I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And uh, that quote is just amazing. That was like the year before he died. It was like 95. That was that interview? Was that the 95 interview? It might have been. I don't know. Bad if I don't remember the time periods. Anyway, that was Trail 7 Reactions. I reacted to interview. If you got any other interviews you think I should check out, let me know. Tupac on being called a fake thug. Let's get this going. Guys, I think I got it. You ready? Go.
Stop for a second.
Hey, what are we doing?
Turn around.
What are we doing?
Homework assignment.
What kind of homework assignment? Hey, is that a gun? Please.
On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
Would you rather be dead? No. Would you rather die here? No. What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel?
The question, Raymond, was what did you want to be?
Answering, Raymond. Jesus.
Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.